Okay, I guess I'm live here. Let me just check on my YouTube channel if the relay is getting streamed on my channel. I guess so. Chat over relay. Yeah. Okay. I think I can. I think it takes a while for the comments to get comments to show up here. So yeah, I mean the video is getting streamed on my channel. So hi everyone. Yeah, I can see some comments. Hope everyone's doing fine. Yeah, I can see the comments here popping up on my screen here also. So just let me know if I'm audible clearly to everyone. Okay, the video seems fine. Sound is not clear, as Talsit says. Is everyone else experiencing has the same view? I mean, okay, it seems fine here, but yeah. Let me just then check the audio. Let me just set up the audio once again. Okay, and should be fine now. Okay, I think now it should be fine. I just boosted it. Yeah, it should be fine now. Is it clear now? Yeah, okay, yeah, I think it's clear now because yeah, the default audio output was set to something else. It should be fine now. It should be fine. Yeah, it will be cracking a bit. थोड़ा बहुत ऐसा तो fluctuations होते रहेगा, but yeah. Yeah, Arijit Das से sound ठीक से करो. Okay, so guys, as you know, you know why we are here today, and today we have a very special guest, someone who inspires me a lot. So she's an independent journalist to start with, a documentary filmmaker, and I would say more popularly known as a woman who fights for men's rights, and someone who has time and again reiterated on the fact that justice cannot be gender biased. So her latest documentary India's Sons brings forth the story of those people whose lives have changed completely forever because of the false accusations of rape. Okay, so you know, I'm talking about Deepika Narayan Bhardwaj. So before we have her here on this live stream, what we'll do is we'll quickly go through the trailer of her upcoming documentary, India's Sons. Okay, so the trailer will play now. Let's all see the trailer together, and then Deepika will be live with us.
My fellow citizens, there is genuine and justified anger at the ghastly crime of gang rape in Delhi. We will make all possible efforts to ensure security and safety of women in this country.
2012 के बाद मीडिया हाइप होने की वजह से लोगों का अवेयरनेस काफ़ी है। वो जो अवेयरनेस थी उसको लोगों ने पॉजिटिव लेने के बजाय उसको नेगेटिव इस्तेमाल करना शुरू कर दिया।
लड़की ने ऐसे ही अपनी मीठी बातों से साजिश का एक जाल,
फर्जी रेप केस में लोगों को फंसाने का एक ब्लैक,
फतेहाबाद में झूठा बलात्कार का आरोप लगा।
Many more false rape cases. We also need to ask at this point if our rape laws need to be re-looked at to prevent misuse.
मेरा नाम प्रिंस है। मेरे ऊपर एक फेक रेप केस का इल्ज़ाम लगाया गया था।
मेरे ऊपर एक लड़की ने आरोप लगाया है कि मैं इसको शादी का झूठा झांसा दे के 5 साल तक रेप किया हूँ।
It's become very easy for a woman to turn around and say, I was raped.
एक ही लड़की होती है, वो मल्टीपल FIR दर्ज करवाती है अलग अलग लोकेशंस पे जा करके अलग अलग थाने में, लेकिन कंटेंट्स जो होते हैं सेम ही होते हैं।
Women can go to any level to extort, to manipulate, of a vendetta.
People are into affairs. When they get caught, then there's a rape case.
A woman says, no, I didn't consent. No evidence required. The man is finished from word go.
इस केस की वजह से मैंने 5.25 साल जेल में बिताए।
अगर मैंने कुछ किया ही नहीं है और फिर उसकी सज़ा 3-3 साल तक मिलती रहे, ये कहाँ का न्याय है।
मेरे भाई को एक टेबल से बिल्कुल ऐसे नीचे हाथ रख के बंद कर रखा था। वो ना ऐसे बैठ सकता था ना ऐसे लेट सकता था। पूरी रात पुलिस वाले ने उसे उसी कंडीशन में रखा।
मेरे ख्याल से 100 क्लिप तो यूट्यूब के ऊपर पड़ी हैं। उन 100 क्लिप में हर जगह हम आज भी एक्यूज ही हैं, ये नहीं कि हम इनोसेंट हैं।
मेरे नाम के आगे जो रेपिस्ट का टैग लगा है, इस जन्म में तो कभी नहीं इसको भरपाई कर सकूंगा। एक गन शॉट के जैसा है, बुलेट गई, काम खत्म।
Every man is vulnerable if the law can be misused to make you suffer. You could just be picked up on a fake case and your whole family will have to go through the massive ordeal. And that has to stop here.
While we are so proud of the way that we are protecting our daughters, don't you think we equally need to protect India's sons?
नहीं अपनाएगा तो रेप के केस में तो अंदर जाएगा ही जाएगा।
Can't he?
Hi Deepika. I think this is fine now. Sorry, actually when the trailer was playing, I had muted myself and just I forgot to unmute myself. So first of all, I mean it's an honor to have you here on my channel. I've been following your work for a long time, and from a long time, from about 7 years now, 8 years I remember, because I myself had made one video back then for my older YouTube channel, and you had supported me a lot. That time I remember you from way back then. So how are you doing? Sorry, I mean I'm just blabbering myself having you here in the like my fanboy moment, you can say that. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm absolutely fine, Sanat, and I think my voice is also going to myself. I think we have a problem today with the sound.
Yeah, I don't know why that's happening, but I think these technical things will, but I can hear you clearly. Let's see, I mean if the issue sorts out by itself.
Okay.
Because your internet connection seems fine here from what I can see on your window. Yeah.
The internet is absolutely fine.
Yeah, tell me. You're saying
if there's mute that other audio. कौन सा other audio? अच्छा, mute your audio.
Other audio. Okay. Someone is saying, Uday, whose voice is echoing?
My voice is echoing for sure. I can.
Covert Indian is broken. Okay, let me just see audio. Okay.
I have.
Okay, Deepika's voice is. I'll just increase the volume of your screen then. I think that should solve the issue. Yeah, I think this is fine. Maybe you'll be a bit loud for some people, but yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Technical issues के लिए कहीं कोई prepare होता है.
Yeah, I know. I use the same mic every time. I don't know why this is happening today. So let's just jump to the straight jump to the point here. Your documentary India's Son is all set for the Mumbai screening this Friday, and I've seen the trailer, and the people who have not seen it probably might have seen it at the start of this stream. But still, although I've given a fair gist of what the documentary is about, can you tell the people watching here what this documentary is about and why it's a very important subject to talk about in today's times?
So, Sanat, while I was in fact just looking at the trailer, it's kind of everything comes back to you again, because it's been almost 3 years that we have worked on this project India's Son. like a lot of you would have seen that we had to release the documentary in 2020, but then we all know what happened in 2020.
Yeah.
COVID hit and it's been quite a struggle. But why India's funds is important? Before this, I made matters of marriage with little misuse examples.
Yeah.
And 498A, which is the law that's actually known as the most misused law in India. Okay, echo is in it's actually important. What should we do at that?
Okay. Let me just see. I mean, here everything seems fine. Audio output, echo cancellation. I don't know. Would you mind joining back from your mobile phone once again? This is your laptop, right?
Mobile phone se to ho hi nahi raha because it's saying that there's some pop-up that I need to allow the screen to come on, and phone pe koi pop-up to dikhta nahi hai.
Acha.
Maybe I can drop out from here and join again.
Yeah, just try. We'll try that and see. Yeah, because everyone's saying that your voice is not clear. Yeah.
Let me try.
Okay. Okay, guys. I think there's some technical issues from Deepika's side in the voice and all. So, what's happening here? So I hope my voice is sorted now. So let's just see if I think Deepika has just rejoined us.
Not sorted.
Huh?
Your voice is definitely not sorted. It's cracking. And there's echo
Oh,
in my
okay.
voice.
Okay.
Wow, people on social media can be so brutal.
ठीक से commentary कर. No, actually this is like my channel. I mean, you can say catch line. ठीक से ये करो वो करो. I mean.
अच्छा ऐसा क्या?
Okay, yeah. So my voice is not clear now.
No, your voice is clear. But there is.
अच्छा Deepika ma'am, your voice is proper. Shivam says. Deepika, अच्छा okay, my voice is cracking. Okay, it's my turn now. I don't know what's happening here.
Actually, मेरी आवाज ठीक है. हाँ, so
hello.
It was. I was working on matters of marriage in 498 and misuse.
Yeah.
Now, special provisions are made for a special purpose, obviously. All the women-centric laws are made with a special intent that such kind of behavior is not done with women. And if something like that happens with women, then there should be stringent most punishment, right? There are so many awareness campaigns that are taken out. There are so many specific programs that are taken out. So that crime against women can stop. In that scenario, where the laws that have been made specially start getting misused, that's a problem.
Yeah.
498 का misuse इतना ज़्यादा हो गया कि 2005 में इसको legal terrorism बोला Supreme Court. 2000 इसके बाद में बहुत सारी Supreme Court की observations. They have judiciary also has been constantly dealing with this problem and trying to get a solution. But unsuccessful. Till date, 498 में पूरे के पूरे परिवार implicated होते हैं. People get arrested and things like that. In 2014, Arnesh Kumar judgment came where immediate arrest was found.
Yeah.
When a law made for a very special purpose gets misused, its efficacy reduces. Now, rape is a very, very serious matter. And 2013 में उन्होंने इतना ज़्यादा change कर दिया law just to appease people, you know, without actually analyzing that why were the rape laws not working? You know, why people were not scared of committing such a heinous crime. Without getting into the depth of what's the problem, prosecution की problem है, investigation procedures की problem है, क्या problem है, उसको हम solve करके law को stringent बनाया, law को wide कर दिया गया. Just the statement of the woman is everything that is required for the rape case right now. Circumstantial evidence, medical evidence, any other evidence, you know, you keep it on the side.
Right.
Statement, you go and write a statement, the rape trial or the rape case gets registered, the guy is called a rapist, she is called a rape survivor, and the trial begins. The first thing is that the man gets separated. Whereas making martyrs of marriage, that's when the rape law amendment took place. And even though I was working on martyrs of marriage, there were cases that were continuously rising in terms of misuse of rape laws. My intention to make India front was people uh, need to realize that this is a very, very serious crime. This cannot be reduced into a joke like formality. If that happens, not only it is very, very wrong for the men who are being cultivated, but it is more dangerous for women to actually suffer the crime. Because then we start thinking about kya guidelines lying so that abuse will stop or people's rights are not violated. I think we are still before.
Yeah, some eco issues. I mean, I think that's something to do with the sometimes these default phone settings. I mean, the mic settings in your phone. Probably, it's. I think.
I tried to plug in my Bluetooth. Let me.
Yeah, yeah, ठीक है, okay, okay. Yeah, she's just trying with her Bluetooth device. So hopefully that will sort out the issue. And I'm really sorry for this because we have no idea why this is happening. And hopefully my voice is clear now. Hopefully my voice is clear. Yeah.
If this doesn't work, then I think we'll have to restart it.
Okay. 90% clear. Like the accuracy, Nikhil. So you connected to your Bluetooth?
I did.
वॉइस कांच के लिए हो गया है.
किसी को पता है कि वन कैसे
What I'll do is I'll just remove my mic here. I'll just collect my default mic. Someone saying that you have network issue, but I don't think that is the case here.
Network issue. I can't hear you.
Hello?
Oh, it's much better. I'm still.
Oh. Okay.
Your voice is completely fine now.
Okay.
Why is Deepika ma'am? I think my voice is also now. Yeah, now it's absolutely clear. Both sides.
Okay. Both sides.
Thank God. Thank God.
Probably something to do with my mic, I guess. I
I
don't know.
don't know what's wrong with my camera. It's gone black and white. पता नहीं कहीं शायद video settings कुछ खराब हो गई होंगी. I have no clue. Lenovo laptop. But कोई नहीं. It's okay.
Sure, I think people are saying it's clear now. I mean, it's much
yeah.
better, hopefully.
Yeah.
So I think we can just continue.
We can.
So,
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
So people, Deepika was just, I mean, she was also speaking about her previous documentary that was Martyrs of Marriage.
And if anyone wants to watch it, it's there on our YouTube channel. You can check it out. You can simply go to a channel and search for the name, Martyrs of Marriage. So that documentary, I think it touched the subject of misuse of section 498 498A, right? And yeah, so it's been 6 years now, if I'm not wrong. So I would like to ask you, I mean, do you think things have changed in these 6 years, uh, you know on these matters that
So,
you have made
see,
documentary
I'll
about?
tell you something, Sanat. In fact, it's just yesterday I was at the Bombay High Court, और जब मैं वहाँ से निकली तो मैंने एक selfie click करी थी कि it's a deja vu moment from me, because 2016 December, I remember we were screening, I think it was 22nd of December if I'm not wrong, that we had our Martyrs of Marriage screening in Mumbai, and I'd
Right.
gone to the Bombay High Court, and I had invited a lot of judges to come for the screening, and it's kind of the same moment again yesterday when I went to the Bombay High Court, and I was talking to the judges. Now I'm not going to tell what has really happened, but when I talk about change, I think on this Friday we would have a lot of people from the judiciary coming and watching the film, and the reason
Oh, that would
is
be great.
that when I sat with the judges yesterday, uh, they earlier I've met n number of judges earlier also, but when I met these judges yesterday, there was a transformational difference in the sense now they are also desperate that something happens because they've
Yeah.
also had enough. They also see, they also feel pain, they're also human beings. They can see through things, they can differentiate between a genuine case and a false case, but they one of the lady judge told me, Deepika, our hands are tied by the law. We have to work under a certain framework. It's the
Oh,
framework that has to change for
right.
us to be independent to do something. Now, I'm not saying that they are not right now. They do not have the powers to do something. They do have the powers to do a lot of things. And some of the judges do take on the, challenge and definitely pass some judgments where some very strict, observations made. But this lady judge herself told me that when that happens, there's too much of attack by the women's right activists and feminists. They have created an atmosphere where you just cannot say anything. I will not even say wrong about a woman. I will say nobody can say anything which puts the responsibility on a woman as well.
Hmm.
It's like they are immune. They can do anything. They can do anything. They don't need to apply their brains. They don't need to apply common sense. They are in absolute victimhood, and there is absolutely nothing that you can tell them. So in terms of what the change that has happened, of course 2014 Arnesh Kumar judgment came, then in 2017 Rajesh Sharma judgment came. So at least in Metropolis, in my last 10 years of experience, earlier when there used to be cases of कि यहाँ पे उठा लिया, वहाँ पे उठा लिया, मेरे भाई को उठा लिया, मेरे इसको उठा लिया, अब एटलीस्ट मेट्रोपॉलिटन सिटीज में वो चीज वैसे नहीं होती जैसे पहले होती थी.
Okay.
Most of the areas 41A summons are given to the husband, his family is asked to join the investigation. Harassment अभी भी है सनत, I will not say harassment नहीं है, बट चीजें थोड़ी सी बेटर हुई हैं. बट दिस बेटरमेंट इज ओनली इन द फॉर्म ऑफ कि उतनी हरासमेंट नहीं हो रही जितनी पहले होती थी. बट हैज द
Right.
लॉ चेंज्ड effectively? No. Have women who file false 498 started getting punished? No. Until that happens, and forget about false 498, until unless false accusations, particularly in the cases of crime against women, is not dealt with properly, there's going to be immense misuse. Right now itself we are saying रोड पे कोई भी लड़ाई हो जाती है molestation का केस हो जाता है, पड़ोसियों में कोई भी लड़ाई हो जाती है molestation का केस होता है. आदमी और औरत का कहीं पे भी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो गया तो उसमें औरत की साइड से सबसे पहले molestation केस आता है. I don't
Right.
need to now. The change that has come now, the most important change that I feel has come now is that I don't need to explain these things.
Right.
When I had started, I had to explain these things. Today, I don't need to explain these things because people have seen Zomato Girl, people have seen Priyadarshini, people have seen Jasleen Kaur, people have seen Rohtak Sisters, people have seen so many cases, and people have started questioning themselves. So yesterday, when I posted that selfie from Bombay High Court, the last line that I had written was, "Changes does not happen overnight.
Oh,
For
nice.
women, it can happen overnight, but for men, it cannot happen overnight." And it's a plant that we have to water every day for it to bear fruits. So I am putting efforts every day in that journey. I don't know whether I will see change during my lifetime or probably the next generation will take over. But yeah, the only thing in our hands is to put efforts.
Yeah, good that you mentioned that, that you met the judges and the people, the lawyers and all, because that was one of the questions from one of my subscribers today. That he had put in a question that, yeah, obviously, I'm interested. He said that, yeah, I want to see this documentary this Friday, but are the lawmakers, people who matters, are going to see this movie?
No,
So
no,
I was going to
absolutely.
ask you that question. Yeah, but you answered that.
Absolutely. There were two members of parliament who came for our Delhi screening, Srimati Sonal Mansingh, Shri Anubhav Mohanty.
Yeah.
They, in fact, were very moved by the documentary, and they said that they are going to definitely talk about this in the parliament. Now, I'll tell you that you have to create an ecosystem, right? You have to create an ecosystem where people become fearless. Right now there's a lot of fear because there is people don't see the public coming
Hmm.
out and talking about these things very openly.
Yes.
There is a sense of fear of anybody who talks about this gets sort of blacklisted. So until unless there's a ecosystem that gets created, that there's nothing wrong we are talking here. हम लोग किसी के राइट्स रिड्यूस करने के लिए नहीं बोल रहे. हम लोग किसी प्रोविजन को खत्म करने के लिए नहीं बोल रहे. हम सिर्फ ये बोल रहे हैं कि जस्टिस शुड बी देयर फॉर एवरीबॉडी.
Yes.
Just because I am born as a man, if I walk into the police station, you're going to presume me as wrong. That is something that needs to change. If I have in my mobile hundreds of evidences that is completely in contradiction to what the woman is saying, if the system does not want to hear me just because I'm a man, that is the change that we want to bring. So members of parliament spoke, gave speeches, and they said they're going to talk in the parliament. Now, if I am not in the capacity, and I don't think I've done something, a work that is as grand as the Kashmir files, but I'm just trying to draw the simile. For 30 years, nobody talked about them, right? But
Yes.
and people in fact made movies that were excusing the terrorists. But
Yeah.
today there came a film that just turned everything around, and people are no more scared to say that we want justice, and we want justice however we can, right? Because
Yeah.
what happened was wrong, and there needs to be a solution to it. So the more and more people become fearless that we are not against women, we are for justice for everyone, and I think that's a very legitimate right. So Delhi screening had a couple of people from the police side, members of parliament were there, politicians were there. Mumbai screening, this is the first time that I'm sharing, but I think the screening is very close. Retired Supreme Court um, Justice B.N. Sri Krishna is going to be the chief guest for the evening, and
Oh,
I don't want to divulge
that's
too
big.
much right now, but I think
Yeah,
we are
that's
going
fine.
to
I
have
understand.
very, very important people from the judiciary in the
That's
Mumbai.
great. We'll be looking forward to it. And it's a very important thing that you said. How people pursue this subject. This issue, because I experienced it myself. And the work, I won't say work it is. I just done videos. I've only done about like 3-4 videos, and it's nothing, like it's barely like 2 or 3% of what you have done. But just for those 3-4 videos, the amount of hate comments that I got on my the comment section, and I felt that, when you talk about men's rights in India, it's considered as like you are belittling crimes that are related to women. I don't know why people are connecting these two things. And that is something which which also affected me, to be very honest. as I know, I thought ki no, I need to tone down my videos. I need to tone down. But thankfully, we have people like you. You have dedicated your life to this for past, 7, 8 years or 10 years, probably more than that, I guess. I've been following your work for 8 years. So people like, I think if you are not registered yet for this, and, to watch this documentary which is releasing on Friday, please do so. The registration link is there in this video description, and I'll share it once again in my Instagram and Twitter profile as well. But you can check the registration link in the video description, and please do register and do come for the screening. And I guess there will be also, as mentioned in the page, there is also going to be a question and hour session post the screening of the documentary. So if anyone has any questions regarding the same, you'll get to interact with Deepika and other people who are related with this documentary. And yeah, I think I'll just share the how. Just a second. Okay.
Hi Sandeep, hi Uday, hi Guru Prasad, hi Manas.
So yeah, the sorry, I'm interrupting you. So the documentary is getting screened on, just to confirm this, on 22nd of April at the Saint Andrews Auditorium in Bandra. So yeah, do register yourself if you haven't yet. Okay. So I don't know, Deepika. Might be a stupid question, but are there like limited number of seats, or so that people should?
No, we have a immensely huge venue, and the reason for choosing St. Andrews Auditorium was because in 2016, when I screened Martyrs of Marriage at St. Andrews, and I think it was quite a bold decision to take, because I wasn't sure how many people are going to turn up to watch
Okay.
Martyrs of Marriage. But I think a lot of people who have been following my work for very long, there were around 600 people attending the screening of Martyrs of Marriage. So I thought, for all of these years, I think the issue has grown, the number of people affected have grown. The number of people who are accepting of this, talking about the other side of the story also have grown. So I thought,
I was there at the screening. I think the response was great. I know I saw people in.
there's no seat limitation. We still have a couple of seats to go, so please come over.
Yeah, I remember coming to this. I was there at the screening, and I remember so many people reacted so emotionally to it once post the screening during the question and hour session. So hopefully, that was like बोलते ना, like वो एक चिंगारी थी, and this will blow up through India's sons, and this will be a movement, like you said, what Kashmir Files did, that create that kind of wave. And hopefully this documentary will create so much impact and create so much awareness that you probably don't have to create a third one. No, hopefully, that's a strange wish to have, but I hope you getting what I'm trying to say here. Yeah.
No,
So
the discussion on this third project have already begun, but there are a lot
oh,
of
okay,
things
yeah,
to be done. So yeah, that's discussion for another day. But yeah,
yeah.
please walk in. You can register. Just in case you're not able to register, Toby, just walk in, because it's a huge venue. We would be happy if people are sitting everywhere and then just watching the film.
Yeah. So, Deepika, considering this subject, I just wanted to know, like, how far you have been working from this, right from the inception of this issue, right till the final cut when it was released. Can you just let us know about your the core team that has worked on this project?
So the research is done entirely by me, and
Right.
I had somebody assisting me. His name was Arpit Bhalla. He's no more right now. He met with an accident during the making of the film, and we lost him. But the research has been taken care of majorly by me. The movie has been directed along with me by Neeraj Kumar. The movie has been made possible by a gentleman called Shoni Kapoor, who is also from the men's rights movement, if I may say. He has his own law firm and he has an NGO also. So it's the movie has been made possible by Shoni Kapoor and Sahodar Trust. Uh, uh, the process actually took a long time, majorly because of COVID. Otherwise, we were pretty sure to have done everything with the documentary and go with the release in 2020 after about 1.5 2 years. The major reason for that was we had got ample of cases which were solved cases in which people had already proven their innocence. They were acquitted by the court. Unlike martyrs of marriage, because 498A cases tend to go on for 7 years,
Yeah.
8 years, 9 years, 10 years. Their process of trial is extremely exhaustive. But for India's sons, we got case studies which were absolutely resolved cases, like you would see in the documentary. These are There's no sub judice case in there, and most of the cases are resolved cases, and there are different kind of case studies that we have gathered from across India, essentially to sort of send a message also that nobody is immune. And when I say
Right.
this, I don't want to scare anybody, but actually nobody is immune. There are rackets
Right.
operating outside. There are people who are making huge money by intimidating people of false rape cases. They have seeped in every strata of the society. The easiest tool that people think in today's time to actually finish off the other person, in terms not literally but mentally, emotionally, and to intimidate the person, 376 has become kind of a tool. So whether it's an IPS officer who himself got falsely accused and what happened with him, to a racket that was running in Rajasthan, across Rajasthan, that went on for years, where people made crores,
Right.
right? And when that
Yeah.
racket was busted and several women arrested, the rape cases in Rajasthan came drastically down. So a lot of analysis of the National Crime Records Bureau, and essentially a critique of post 2013 scenario in terms of rape laws, and of course a quest to tell people that, repeat myself, let us not allow 376 to become the next 498A.
Yeah.
498A is still seen as a marital dispute. If you're going to question every girl who files a rape case, then I think that would be a very sad case scenario for women who become victims of rape. And there are a lot of rape cases, genuine rape cases, that do happen in the country, and the rape victims who have gone through this sort of trauma need all the help of the system. uh, just to conclude, we made fast track courts in the aftermath of Nirbhaya. Now, those fast track courts have again become slow track courts. The
Yeah.
cases are taking 5, 5, 6 years now again. So you're gonna come back to square one. Then what was the whole point of the exercise that you did? And when a very important thing also is, when you are actively working to solve a specific issue, I think it's common sense that the lawmakers should reflect on the effectiveness. I think the law commission should sit down and analyze now कि 376 का जो पूरा का पूरा ढांचा चेंज कर दिया था आज के टाइम पे, हैज इट एक्चुअली helped the victims?
Victims. Yeah.
Or
Or
there are
it has
people
been
who have
misused.
created very new definitions of rape and going and complaining. For example, all these girlfriends after breakup going and complaining of rape to the police authority,
Yeah.
saying कि हमारे को तो शादी का झांसा देके rape किया था. I find that ridiculous.
Yeah. So someone here, I mean, Uday, I think has asked. So do you think that police are under pressure to register complaints if it's given by a woman? I mean, with respect to rape or
See,
molestation. I
उदय
think he means that.
पुलिस के अंडर प्रेशर वाली तो कोई बात ही नहीं है. The amendment in the rape laws that happened in 2013, there are specific provisions that will penalize a police officer if they do not register a rape complaint. They have to. They're bound by law to register. They cannot refuse. But what a justice that I was speaking to yesterday, actually, we had a conversation with. She was saying that there are a lot of police cases where police is striking a compromise at the police station level, which is absolutely illegal. You cannot
Yeah.
close a case at the police station level or draw a compromise and then not register the case and things like that. But that is also happening, and judges know that that is happening. So पुलिस तो डेफिनेटली प्रेशर में है ही है, उसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है. बट देन registering an FIR is a duty of a police officer, and they must always register an offense if it has been complained about. But the problem is investigation. The problem is they can investigate the case फटाफट से. There are a lot of states that have now said कि crime against women में एक हफ्ते में investigation complete करो, 2 हफ्ते में investigation complete करो. कंप्लीट हो सकती है, मैं ये नहीं बोलती कि कंप्लीट नहीं हो सकती, but then there are a lot of challenges. The number of police officers we have, the number of police officers force that is there to investigate these cases, the kind of investigation that is required to solve these cases, technical, circumstantial, medical. So there are a lot of things, there are a lot of processes involved. So it's the investigation which is the biggest problem, and bigger than that is absence of provisions to prosecute people who have filed false cases. So I met the DCP today. I met one of the DCPs here in Mumbai, and he would be coming and joining the screening as well. And he said that I, in my life, have not seen. I've seen so many false cases, but I in my life have not seen something very stringent being done to a woman who filed a false case, and we filed a B summary report. I mean, they declared the case false. The case went to the magistrate, but nothing happened after that.
Yeah, I think recently there was one case which made headlines. I remember which state it was. But apparently, the court asked the husband to pay continue paying maintenance to his wife, although it was proved that she was having affair. So he said that I remember the judge said, he said his exact words, that occasional acts of adultery cannot be grounds to deny maintenance to your wife. So I
So see,
was,
Sarad, I'll tell you something. You spoke about the change that has come. The
yeah,
change that has come is that we are now discussing these things.
yeah,
This is not today. This judgment or the words of it is not today. The law of CRPC 125 is like that,
right,
where a husband has to prove that a wife has been continuously living in adultery.
yeah,
अगर एक बार का कोई फ्लिंग हो जाए, एक बार किसी के साथ वन नाइट स्टैंड हो जाए, तो that has never been a ground to deny maintenance to the wife. This
yeah,
is the law, but people don't know this law. Now the discussion has started that this is so lopsided and this is so ridiculous that she has cheated upon him. She has broken his trust, and she has uh, in every sense, it मतलब एक तो कहाँ एक बात आती है कि किसी इंसान को थोड़ा आप रियलाइज कराओ कि आपने गलत किया है, योर एक्ट और एक्शन वाज नॉट राइट, एंड यू नीड टू बी हेल्ड अकाउंटेबल फॉर दैट. वो तो
yeah,
छोड़ ही दो, यहाँ पे आप उसके राइट की बात कर रहे हो कि आप ये सब भी कर लो, उसके बाद भी आपके राइट्स की हम बात करते हैं. So that is absolutely obnoxious, and at least we are
yeah.
discussing about it. So like I said, change is far away, but it's a process.
Yeah, I think if the same thing would have done by the husband, then probably he would have been behind the bars for cheating.
So Nikhil is saying, can you invite Karan Kundra and Akshay Khanna to your screening? I have been trying to get in touch with Karan Kundra since I thought of a Mumbai screening. I've not been able to get a response from him. If any one of you knows Karan Kundra, please reach out to him or please tag him on social media. Please send him messages if he wants. He has openly spoken about these things, so we would be more than
Yeah,
happy to actually have Karan come and attend this screening and watch this film.
yeah, okay. So there's one question here which was asked before this stream started. So I think, how can a documentary filmmaker maintain the integrity of the topic and showcase the narrative documented? So I think this is asked from the perspective of the Mainak Mukherjee. I think he's a filmmaking student. And before putting this comment, he put this, that he's a filmmaking student. So from a perspective of a film student, he's asked this question. So how challenging it is to maintain, the integrity of the topic and showcase the narrative that is documented.
See, we would be fooling somebody if we would say, as documentary filmmakers, that there is uh, no personal takes on a certain subject. We
Right.
we work on a certain subject because that subject has affected us somewhere, and we think that the subject really needs to be told, and these stories need to be told. So we always have a personal take on the documentary films that we make. These are not news stories where you will put the mic here, put the mic there, and take four opinions and whatever. These are not news stories. These are very, very exhaustive documentation of opinions and all the realities related to a certain subject. Now, to maintain the integrity of the topic, I think the best way is to ensure that your research is flawless.
Right.
There's no other thing, there's no other two way about it. So I sifted through hundreds of cases, then selected the cases that really need to be told about. And the narrative, there is no narrative as such, but I think it's connection of these stories and telling what is happening. So the only way to ensure that you stick to um, the integrity of the topic, like I said again, is exhaustive research where you have analyzed each and every aspect of that particular subject. Now, somebody may say that your documentary really doesn't touch upon rapes are happening, and you're talking
Mhm.
only about false rape cases, but that is not the intention.
Yeah.
The subject itself is about
It's
false rape cases.
correct.
I'm not saying that the rapes and the other side, or the two sides of the rape story and things like that. I'm very specific that this documentary is the tale of false rape case survivors.
Survivors.
These are people who have fought the case, proved their innocence, and they are telling their stories on how they fought with the system, why, what happened to them. And then there is additional statistics to it. The second thing is, uh, ideally, people want to see the other side. And I think that's
Yes.
a fair argument, and that's a fair asking also. But then you can show only so much in a film. People are not going to watch a documentary film for 5-6 hours where you can go and show a rape case also, and then a false rape case also, and things like that. But to be honest to the idea and to the issue, we did reach out to the chairman, National Commission for Women. We did reach out to the chairperson, Delhi Commission for Women, to get their perspective on what
Yeah.
do they think, that do they do they accept that there is misuse, do they not accept that there's misuse in their perspectives. uh, do they think that if we do not stop this, or there is no repercussion for this, then that's a ideal case scenario for women who actually need support. But they refuse to give even an interview, so
Yeah.
we can't do much about it.
Right.
And
So
then
just to talk.
there was no point going to the other side of the stories of these solved cases, because these are court delivered judgments. All the cases in my documentary have evidences that will blow people's mind.
Yeah.
People will be like, what really happened, and can something so wrong happen? So we have picked up cases intentionally, which where the evidence with the accused was very strong.
Right. Yeah, important thing that you said was, that people always want to see the other side of the coin also. But I remember this very well. When Martyrs of Marriage released, there was one review that I came across. Okay, so I'll not name that person, but so that person had a issue ki abhi when this Me Too movement is going on full fledged, comes this documentary which is talking about something else. Okay, and that person, I don't know, I mean, he was but that one sentence that stayed with me is, now the I find this documentary annoyingly effective. So it's like he doesn't like the subject, but he finds it very effective. He's against the idea. I mean, that's his take. But because he does not want to see the other side, or he was not aware of things that were happening before he saw this documentary. But I hope that this India Sin also evoke those kind of reactions, that people who are not even aware, people who don't even want to talk about it, they are like, okay, she's talking about this subject, I might not like it, but it is effective. It kind of make it, at least makes me talk about it.
See, we had extremely great response in Delhi screening.
Yeah.
It was, I would not like to draw any comparisons, but people have appreciated the documentary, especially its production values a lot, especially the storytelling a lot. And so I don't know what reviews we are going to get, but one thing I'm sure of is that it will make people think, and that's our only intention, to make people think that can
Right.
this continue, is this wrong, does this need to be talked about. And more than anything else, I think I named the documentary India's Son Sanat because I think from the very beginning the biggest question that I'm raising is that when are we going to talk about men?
Hmm.
How much of suffering would be enough for us to create a dialogue or to start a conversation? What is the extent of humiliation, harassment, suicides, murders, domestic violence, whatever, what would be the threshold where it will be okay to talk about men?
Yeah, like till this level, the collateral damage is acceptable
या
because
या
so
या
much
या
crime has
उस
been
लेवल
accepted.
तक मरते रहो, कटते रहो, हम लोग
हाँ,
कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे, इसके बाद अगर इससे ऊपर हुआ तब हम बोलना शुरू करेंगे, so my
yeah,
question to people is that, but then obviously I'm a person who is not okay with that perspective, and hence I tell these stories. And the reason I named this India's Sons is that there's so much at every level that is happening for just yesterday I received a email from US Embassy where they are going to have a discussion on portrayal of women and girls in the films, and why, kind of
oh,
take a
okay,
discussion on how are girls being represented, how much of their exposure is there in the media, in cinema, how many female centric, whatever, I don't know the discussion, it was just an invite, but I'm assuming. So it was like gender representation in cinema. Basically, you can
right,
talk about in a myriad ways about that, whether it's female centric characters or the directors who are women or the perspectives of women or all kind of things. Now, there is so much of discussion, there is so much of enabling, there is so much of change making that is happening for daughters. You're so many people at large level are ready to discuss कि सिनेमा में कैसी रिप्रेजेंटेशन हो रही है, राइट? तो ये चीज जो लड़कों को, आदमियों को, उनकी लाइव्स को डिस्ट्रॉय कर रही है,
hmm,
उस चीज का डिस्कशन कब आएगा? इंडिया सन्स का डिस्कशन कब करेंगे लोग कि हम इंडिया डॉटर्स के लिए जो भी कर रहे हैं बहुत सराहनीय है और होना चाहिए. The wrongs that happen to women and girls happen at obnoxious levels, and there need to be all kind of efforts to address that. But are we going to be blind to what's happening to India's sons? And are we going to say that because for so long such wrong has happened to women and girls, that what are you even talking about if you're talking about men
yeah,
and boys? That's something that I wish to challenge with this particular title of the documentary, that this is time we need to talk about India's sons as well, because if that person, if that boy, if that man was somebody very close to you, no matter how big a feminist you are, you will feel the pain. And that time you will not think that whatever is happening with him is okay, because that is
right.
not okay.
So just a couple of questions. Sahil here asks how much of the media trial is to be blamed in case of these false cases. I think we have seen that in case of whether it was Sarvajit's case or many
ये
other
सरजीत
cases.
से तो बहुत बड़ा केस मेरी डॉक्यूमेंट्री में है, लोग उस केस को देखेंगे तो काफी शॉक हो
Oh,
जाएंगे, which is रोहतक डबल गैंग रेप केस.
okay.
That was also a very very huge media trial case, लेकिन वो जब सॉल्व हुआ तब वो मीडिया में आया ही नहीं.
Hmm.
जय सरजीत के केस को तो क्योंकि दिल्ली का था तो लोगों ने फॉलो अप बहुत किया, बट
हाँ.
रोहतक डबल गैंग रेप केस को जब वो उसके ऊपर पार्लियामेंट में आवाज उठ रही थी, एंड द एंटायर कंट्री वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट केस, आई हैड रिटन अ ब्लॉग बिकॉज आई न्यू आई हैड done my immense research on the case, that it was an absolutely false case. I'd written a blog also. There were a lot of people who did read that blog, but then of course this is like 2015, I guess. My reach was not that much as it is today. But then I had written the real story. Eventually those boys were taken out of jail within in 3 months, when the case was absolutely proven to be false. Lekin nobody in the media went and did a follow up on that case. Nobody at all. It was such a on your face false gang rape case, but nobody
Hmm.
did an aftermath कि क्या हुआ उन लड़कों के साथ. So media trials definitely are to be blamed. Media trials are more to be blamed because they show only one side of the story. When you are, if by the meaning of the word trial, you need to put both the sides, right? That's what a trial involves.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
need to both, you need to at least ask both the sides. But यहाँ पे इतना ज़्यादा one sided हो जाता है कि more than media trials to be blamed, I would say media trials like this encourage people. They know that the media will listen to only one side. They know that, they can be manipulated with tears. They know that, the moment you say कि किसी औरत के साथ एक अन्याय हुआ है, then they can have an edge over the other person even if they are lying. So that way media trials do have an impact on a lot of cases in terms of enabling people because they cover only one side. But here I must commend the very very small Facebook channels, news channels, YouTube news channels that are playing quite an important part. These
Yeah.
these small little news channels actually go and cover both sides of the story. So मैंने in fact इस चीज का impact खुद देखा है, where a woman was trying to completely take advantage of the media, but then there was other small news channels which went to the other side. So now they were both the sides. So now people were saying कि यार ये लड़की तो wrong दिख रही है, चाहे obviously laws तो सारे के सारे औरतों के लिए ही हैं, but still people were putting their opinion up. When it's a
Yeah.
media trial, then it's a media trial.
Yeah. People are talking about it.
Or everything is happening on social media or in media and in terms of people's opinion. So now both the opinions are out, so at least person doesn't feel choked कि हमारी बात नहीं बाहर आई. So small news channels, I would say they are doing a good job in terms of ये जो बहुत ज़्यादा obnoxious से level पे चले जाते थे cases, at least they are presenting the other side.
Yeah, I think in the Zomato case, the Zomato guy case was also the perfect example. In case of how if something gets exposed to social media on that much level, then people definitely want to see the other side now, which probably would not have been possible 5 to 6 years ago. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Manoj here is asking. I mean, is there any provision for punishment for such people who waste valuable court time in case proceedings? I think he's referring to the false cases. If the verdict is that the allegations are false, so is there any punishment for
See,
such
there
people?
there are provisions for punishment. There are certain sections for punishment, but are they used is where the question is.
Right.
These provisions are also very first they are very for example IPC 182 is usually filed when you declare a case false, then the punishment is 6 months and some fine, 6 months of jail and some fine. It's been 10 years. I don't remember of a case except now the Ayushi Bhatia case which I did.
Yeah.
बट आयुषी भाटिया वाले केस में भी वो 182 में अंदर नहीं गई है. आयुषी भाटिया वाले केस में वो अंदर इसलिए गई है because there are two families who filed a case against her for the charges of extortion, blackmail, and filing false rape case and all of those things. So 182 का provision बहुत ही toothless kind of provision है. Then 211 है. कुछ कुछ आईपीसी के provisions हैं जो कि हैं which are there for false cases, but I'll not taking too much of time. बहुत ही layman term में मैं बता देती हूँ कि for example आज ही मेरे पास एक message आया है. I know somebody from Gurgaon who had been dealing with a rape on false promise of marriage case, bogus case, false case. Poor guy has been running around for the last 4-5 years. He's got acquitted today.
Oh,
He has
okay.
been cleared of all the charges. But what does the judge say? He has been given benefit of doubt in absence of any evidence against him.
Oh.
Right?
Benefit of doubt.
Yeah, so they will not say the woman filed a false case.
Okay.
They will say she was not able to prove her case, so we are letting you go on benefit of doubt, even though it was an absolutely false case.
Yeah. So all the time, energy that he spent on all the mental stress that he might have gone through, that holds no ground. I mean, for anything.
And then somebody is coming. I'm not going to get into the conversation of marital rape right now because it's a it's a subject for another time. But something that I really want to emphasize upon is, for India's daughters, you want to bring a law like marital rape because everywhere in the world there is a law like that. But you will not talk about all the laws in the other countries which are there for men also, which prosecute women who are lying, who lie, the countries that compensate a man for all the jail term that he has done, for all the harassment, mental harassment he has gone through. There are $1 million of compensations. The woman has also asked to, compensate the boy. वैसे वाले लॉज भी ले आओ ना आप, सिर्फ एक ही साइड के लॉज क्यों बाहर से लेकर आ रहे हो? सारे के
Right.
सारे फेक लॉज लेकर आओ ना. बाहर तो डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस आदमी के ऊपर भी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड है, फिर आप डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस जो आदमी के ऊपर रिकॉग्नाइज्ड है बाहर, वो भी आप इंडिया में लेकर आओ ना. Either you bring everything that is good, that you think is seemingly good from outside, or you perhaps probably should think what is good for our country and how do we challenge, address the challenges that we are facing.
Right. Uh, so just one last question, Deepika, because I know you have another session. So I don't want you to be just juggling around this technical stuff for that session also. How do you handle? Because I also personally also wanted to ask you this. Because I've been following. I've been following you on Twitter, and I see how people, post faltu ka stuff on your Twitter feed. How they oppose you, how they don't like the things that you have been doing for years. So how do you handle that stuff? Because like, have you become immune to this negative comments?
See, I
And
will be lying if I say that I'm completely immune to all of those. A lot of times I feel कि मैं क्या कर रही हूँ अपनी लाइफ में. कभी कभी लगता है कि मैं क्या कर रही हूँ जब कुछ बहुत ज्यादा अति हो जाती है, because sometimes these things take over you emotionally. But I've said this a lot of times, Sanat. मेरे पास अभी भी 4 स्क्रीनशॉट्स पड़े हैं अप्रिसिएशन मैसेजेस के जो मुझे पोस्ट करने हैं ट्विटर पे.
okay.
Right? The kind of blessings, the kind of मतलब मुझे एक तो मेरी याददाश्त बहुत कमजोर है तो चीजें याद नहीं रहती हैं, but whenever I have posted any tweet where people saw slightest bit of me feeling low, the kind of support that I have received, sometimes I have tears in my eyes. People love me so much. And I think people love me so much because they see I'm not here for any vested interests. It's been 10 years I've put in day in,
Yeah.
day out in doing what I do. I help people with all my soul and heart. There is no narrative, there is no agenda that I have. I have taken sides of women also, and I
Yeah.
have I've condemned men also when I found that they were wrong. So I think I'm immune to all of this majorly because I am very true to my conscience. And as long as I think I would do that, I don't think I will have to answer anybody.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So people, just one, everyone watching, but just one last time, I'll just reiterate once again. So the India Sons Mumbai premiere, the Mumbai screening is going to happen this Friday at Bandra. So if you can register using the link which is
I
provided
think
in the
this is
video.
an invite that I'm going to ask
Yeah.
everybody. If you're from Mumbai, and even if you're not from Mumbai, anybody you know that who likes watching people on social issues, anyone you know who is justice oriented, who wants to know both sides of the story when we talk about gender issues, please send them this invite. You can log on to indiasons.com. वहाँ पे भी registration link है. You can go on Eventbrite link. वहाँ पे भी register कर सकते हो. And the invitations are all over social media. So please take it from there. Do join in and do make other people join as well. I will have to drop out now because my next live
Yeah,
will
and
now.
just to add one last thing, you also mentioned that people are coming from Pune, Gujarat to watch this video. Yeah, so the build up and the hype has been great, and hopefully the screening. I mean, not hopefully, I know it's going to be a success, and let's hope that, like you mentioned at the start of the stream, that this creates a new wave, and more and more people will talk about it, and it has that kind of impact on our legal system that you plan to, that you had in your mind while making this documentary. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for staying in there. And I think I'll do a session again, Sanat. You have quite an engaging audience. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for coming up on my channel once again. I'm saying like
All right.
this. Yeah, I'm not used to
I'll
hosting
drop
live
out now because
sessions.
this person is waiting now. Okay, Sanat?
Yeah, yeah. All right, all
Yeah.
right.
Bye
Okay, Deepika.
bye.
Bye. Take care.